You know, in my world, I'm more worried about like the Joe Rogan deep fakes and like people scamming people out of money. But I also worry about like the romance scammers.
Yeah.
Like how good that's going to get.
Oh,
when
yeah.
ChatGPT now has all the scripts down, and instead of paying someone to get it,
You have someone FaceTime this person.
oh yeah, you have someone FaceTime them. You have it all generated by an AI. It costs you almost nothing to do. I mean, one of the rise of like robocalls was it's just cheaper. Like it's
Right.
really hard if you're going to hire people to do it. You kind of need an ROI. If you have robots, you know, sending spam, now it's good because you don't actually need to earn that many dollars per call to make it viable. So you just call everybody.
One of my daughters got a phone call about how much money she owes, and then if she doesn't pay this amount right away, the authorities will be in contact with her. And you know, she was 10, and she was laughing, and she's like, "What is this? Am I in trouble?" She plays it for me. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is hilarious." But it's just when you take really lonely, sad people. Like I remember watching this television show once. It was some expose on this poor man. He was just like this old divorcee who was being scammed by someone, and I don't even think he had like a voice conversation with this person, but he traveled to the UK or somewhere in Europe twice to meet with this person that he had been sending all this money to. And both times something came up and the person couldn't meet him there.
Oh, yeah.
This poor old guy just kept going there thinking that the love of his life was there, and they interviewed his daughter, and she was, you know, beside herself, and she couldn't talk sense into him, and they interviewed him, and he was in denial, and it was just so pathetic and sad. And what is that going to be like now with this kind of shit?
It's going to be a lot more prevalent, and it's going to get a lot better. I mean, the rise of the ability to generate like a realistic companion avatar is going to be, I mean, it's massive. You know, these people were complaining to me the other day about this other thing, which you're going to find this wild. So there's this app where you can basically have a girlfriend who's an AI, where like the AI, you'll like basically, you know, it's a fake, like, you know, it's all AI, but it's like a companion chatbot. And, you know, I get a lot of emails like, oh, such and such is a scam. And usually it's like some Ponzi scheme or some get rich quick scheme. This one, they were furious because the creators had sold it like, hey, you can have hot role play with this AI bot. And then the people developing the app one day said, hey, we're turning that off. But the reaction from the community was like, you took away my girlfriend.
Oh, Jesus
Like, you took
Christ.
away my partner. And these people had legitimately bonded with a bot. What is
that's
that?
the Joaquin Phoenix movie.
Yeah. What is it?
She? Her?
Her. Yeah.
That's really the premise of the movie. But in the movie, it was all just voice.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be some actual 3D person. Is this one?
It's replicate
So that's
AI.
like still the uncanny valley, right? You look at that and you'd have to have like really bad eyesight to think that's a real person. AI shuts down erotic role-play community, shares suicide prevention resources over loss. Oh my goodness.
People were like miserable. They're like it's talking. So, and they would like complain like after an update, they'd be like, because I looked through their Reddit, I was like so curious. I was like, this is like a new, brave new world, you know? But they would say, you know, ever since the new update, she's just not the same. She's like talking to someone different. And it's like, you know, the back end is just like a large language model, and they just clicked an update.
They don't care as long as they're getting this feeling, right? You know, it's really scary stuff, because I read this statistic recently that said that there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 30+% of women are single, but it's in the neighborhood of 60% of men.
Really?
Yeah. See if you can find.
Really high.
I know.
In what
does
age
seem
group?
really high. It's 18 to 49 or something.
Oh,
like that.
wow.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's young men.
It's a shockingly
It
high.
doesn't make sense, like why there's such a disparity between the genders, that men are so much more single than women. Like, that doesn't even jive.
Yeah, how does that
like
make sense?
Most men are single, most young women are not.
Maybe the guys
So-
are just saying they're single, and all the girls are like, we're in a relationship.
It is just a research, right? So it's just a survey, I would imagine. 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single. 34% of women and a whopping 63% of men. Like,
Wow.
how does that work? How does it work if there's roughly 50% women, 50% men? How could 34% of women be single and 63% of men be single? It says, not surprisingly, the decline of relationships matches a stride with the decline in sex. The share of sexually active Americans stands at a 30-year low. Around 30% of young men reported in 2019 that they had no sex in the past year, compared to about 20% of young women. Only half of single men are actively seeking relationships or even casual dates, according to Pew. That figure is declining.
What if, like, the women thought they were in a relationship and the guys are like,
Right.
"I'm
Yeah, that's what we could say.
fucking single. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that you could say that. Or maybe the women aren't being honest. Maybe they've gone on a date with a guy and they decide that's their boyfriend. I don't know.
I think the more shocking thing is just that more in general are single. Less people are having sex and are engaged in meaningful, long-term relationships. I think that's, there's just an increasingly, I feel like we're becoming more atomized. Like you just kind of can get lost in your world, and you get these pseudo communities popping up. Like if I'm a Bored Ape Yacht Club member, I could call, I might say those guys are my brothers. But are they really? Like what are these new internet communities doing right? And what are they not really replacing in the real world? Because basically that's what we've done. We've replaced a lot of physical things with online things, and sometimes that replacement works. Like I can kind of, but sometimes it doesn't. Like I can FaceTime with my mom, and it's like kind of the same, but it's not really.
It's a little annoying.
It's a little annoying, right? And they're getting better at it, but it's always kind of like this facsimile of the real thing. And so I think this replica AI is it's sort of this it's trying to treat loneliness in people.
Yeah.
Maybe you could that's the nice way of looking at it. But it's pretty dystopian, man.
It is dystopian, and one of the things that I think accelerated it was the lockdowns, right? So for especially people that had a lot of anxiety, there was people that went a year plus without being in contact with other people other than their immediate family members. And so then they seek more time online. They're online more. And at the same time, this AI-generated 3D image of a person is communicating with you. Just
that, and then the rise of like parasocial relationships.
working
people
from
watch.
home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People watch so much of online people, they think they know you, and they don't.